Jennie just did something that proves exactly where her real priorities are. And I'm not just talking about her incredible performance, I'm talking about the massive gap between what we're seeing from her solo work versus what's happening with Blackpink as a group. Stay with me because this goes way deeper than just another comeback delay. If you've been following Blackpink this year, you already know something feels different. The group album keeps getting pushed back, the members are all doing their own thing, and now, with Blackpink's album conveniently scheduled right around BTS's comeback, again, we need to talk about YG's playbook, and why Jennie seems to have completely figured out who she is as a solo artist, while the group situation remains messy as hell. Let's start with what just happened, because honestly, it was beautiful and kind of heartbreaking at the same time. So Jennie absolutely dominated both the Melon Music Awards and Golden Disc Awards. At MMA in December, she performed Soul City, Zen, and Light Jennie with this insane stage production featuring Korean cultural elements. Her outfit had text from Hunmin Jeongum, the document that introduced Hangul. The whole performance was this journey from external world to inner consciousness, and people lost their minds over it. Then she won Record of the Year, the Daesang, first soloist in MMA history to ever win that category. 20 years of this award show, and no solo artist had won it until her. Fast forward to Golden Disc Awards in January, and she basically turned it into the Jennie show. Closed the entire event with her performance, then immediately walked back on stage to accept Artist of the Year. First solo artist ever to win it. She won 4 awards that night, including accepting a Blackpink award by herself because the other members weren't there. That image of her standing alone accepting a group award kind of says everything about where Blackpink is right now. In her speeches, she kept mentioning how much she misses performing with the members, how she feels lonely doing this alone. You could hear it in her voice. But at the same time, there was this confidence radiating from her that comes from knowing you created something genuinely yours. Now here's what gets me. Jennie spent months preparing for these performances. Not weeks, months. She's talked about how the pressure was overwhelming, how the mental stress was so intense that just surviving felt like an achievement. She trained by running while singing her entire set list, over and over, because stamina has always been her struggle. That's dedication. That's someone putting everything into their craft because it matters to them personally. When was the last time you heard any Blackpink member talk about group work with that same level of personal investment? I'm not saying they don't care about Blackpink. They clearly do. But with her solo work, Jennie's involved in every detail. She executive produced Ruby, she chose her collaborators, she built Odd Atelier from scratch specifically so she could have creative control. With Blackpink, she shows up and does what YG tells her to do. And after experiencing creative freedom, going back to that must feel suffocating. Ruby sold over 1 million copies globally in its first week. Debuted at number 7 on Billboard 200. Hit number 3 in the UK, making her the highest charting K-pop female soloist in UK chart history. Top 10 in 19 countries. Like Jennie became her 3rd number 1 on Korea's Circle Digital chart. She became the first K-pop female soloist to have 3 songs simultaneously on the Billboard Hot 100. The album has 5 songs that have each surpassed 100 million streams on Spotify. Rolling Stone, Billboard, Complex, Forbes, major publications all named it one of 2025's best releases. She won Record of the Year at MMA, Artist of the Year at Golden Disc, became the first Korean soloist to win a Billboard Women in Music Award. At 30 years old, Jennie is hitting milestones that most K-pop idols never even dream of. And this is the thing people keep missing. In an industry where hitting 30 is supposed to be the beginning of the end, where female idols are told their peak is in their early 20s, Jennie just turned 30 in January and she's treating it like the beginning, not an endpoint. Now let's flip to the group situation, because it's honestly getting absurd. Blackpink's album was supposed to come out in May 2025, then November, then December, then January 2026. Now it's scheduled for February 27th, 2026. That's nearly a full year of delays for a mini album with only 4 tracks. 4 tracks! YG had 3 years to prepare this comeback. 3 full years. Meanwhile, all 4 members managed to release full solo albums in that same time frame. Jennie released a 15-track album. Rosé released Rosie, with APT going absolutely massive. Lisa dropped Alter Ego and starred in The White Lotus. Jisoo released her EP and continued acting. They all found time for their solo work. But somehow, YG needs multiple delays to deliver 4 group songs? YG keeps saying they're delaying for quality and to ensure the highest musical standards. But come on. If Jennie can executive produce a 15-track, critically acclaimed album while running her own label and preparing award show performances, YG's excuse doesn't really hold up, unless you realize what's actually happening. BTS just announced their comeback album for March 20th, 2026. Blackpink's album is scheduled for February 27th, 2026, 3 weeks apart. If this sounds familiar, it's because YG has been doing this for years. Back in 2019, Blackpink's Kill This Love dropped exactly 1 week before BTS was scheduled to release their comeback. Fans immediately called out YG for strategic timing, trying to break BTS's YouTube records before BTS could reset them. The pattern is always the same. Release right before BTS, so Blackpink can grab headlines, break whatever records exist at that moment, and benefit from the inevitable media coverage that comes from pitting the two groups against each other. It's Media Play 101. YG has built their entire Blackpink strategy on scarcity and strategic timing. Keep comebacks rare so demand stays high. Time releases to maximize comparison headlines with BTS. From a business perspective, it's worked. But from an artistic perspective, it's exhausting. And I think the members are tired of being pawns in YG's games. Because look at what happens when they're in control. Jennie's Ruby came out on her timeline with no strategic manipulation, just her music released when she decided it was ready. And it became one of the best reviewed K-pop albums of the year. Watch any of Jennie's solo performances from these award shows, and then watch a Blackpink group performance. The difference in energy is noticeable. During her MMA and Golden Disc performances, Jennie was emotional, vulnerable, fully present. She took risks with her staging, her voice cracked during her speeches talking about missing her members, but also being proud of what she accomplished alone. That's an artist who's invested, who cares deeply about what they're creating. With Blackpink, she's professional. She hits her marks, delivers her lines, executes the choreography flawlessly. But that raw, emotional investment you see in her solo work, it's not there the same way. There's a difference between loving something and feeling confident in it. And I think Jennie's confidence in her solo career is just stronger, more certain. She knows who she is as Jennie the solo artist. She's less sure about how she fits into the Blackpink machine. Think about it. Blackpink operated under YG's strict control for nearly 8 years. The girls renewed their group contract in 2023, but all 4 members left YG for their solo activities. They each established their own companies specifically for solo work. That tells you everything. They wanted creative freedom. And now that they've tasted that freedom, going back to the group dynamic where YG still has creative control must feel limiting. Ruby is unmistakably Jennie. It sounds like her, looks like her, feels like her vision fully realized. She chose her collaborators like Childish Gambino, Dua Lipa, Doechii. Every decision was hers. Can you say the same about recent Blackpink music? Or does it feel more like, this is what YG thought would be commercially successful? Jennie turning 30 is actually a huge deal in K-pop, and not for the reasons the industry traditionally thinks. K-pop has this toxic obsession with youth, especially for female idols. There's this unspoken rule that once you hit 30, you should start thinking about your exit strategy. The idea is that you're past your peak, that younger idols are more marketable. But Jennie's out here breaking that narrative completely. She's at the peak of her artistry. Her vocals have never sounded better. Her performances are more confident than ever. She launched her own label. She signed with Columbia Records on her own terms. She's collaborating with respected artists who've been in the industry for years. She released a free Hangul typeface on Hangul Day. She partnered with Stanley to create products inspired by Korean heritage. Ruby isn't music just for teenagers. It's music for adults. The themes are mature, the production is sophisticated. Jennie's building for longevity, not just the next viral moment. And she's not alone. Look at Sunmi, who built an entire solo career that's gotten better with age. Look at Taeyeon making arguably the best music of her career in her 30s. The idea that female K-pop idols expire at 30 is outdated and honestly sexist. These are trained vocalists, dancers, performers, who spent their lives honing their craft. Why would they be less valuable after 30? If anything, they're more valuable, because they finally have the experience to know what they want to create. Jennie's not trying to be 22 again. She's embracing being 30, making sophisticated music that reflects her actual life experiences, building a brand that represents who she is now. That's what real confidence looks like. So here's the question everyone's thinking but not asking. If Jennie's this successful in her solo work, why should she be excited about a Blackpink comeback that's been delayed repeatedly? That's only 4 songs. That's clearly being used as part of YG's strategic game. The truth is complicated. They love each other as members. They're proud of what Blackpink achieved. When Jennie won that Blackpink award alone at Golden Disc, you could see it meant something to her. She wanted her members there. But there's also the reality that they've all found more artistic freedom and commercial success in their solo careers than they probably ever experienced in the group. Rosé's APT was nominated for a Grammy. Lisa became a legitimate actress and fashion icon. Jisoo proved she could excel in dramas. Jennie built an entire creative empire. These women have options now. They're not dependent on Blackpink for relevance or income. And that fundamentally changes everything. When the comeback finally happens on February 27th, we're going to see 4 incredibly talented women who care about each other doing their professional best. But we're also going to see 4 individuals who've outgrown the constraints of what Blackpink was designed to be. Jennie's solo success isn't a betrayal of the group. It's proof of what she's capable of when she has full creative control. The performances she delivered at MMA and Golden Disc weren't just good, they were statements. This is who I am, this is what I can do, this is the level I'm operating at when I control my own destiny. At 30, instead of slowing down like the industry expects, she's just getting started. She opened a photo exhibition. She's preparing for variety show appearances. She's continuing the Blackpink tour while building her solo empire. Blackpink's comeback will happen. It'll probably be successful because these four women are talented and their fan base is massive. But I don't think it's where Jennie's heart is anymore. I think her heart is in the music she creates when nobody's telling her what to do. And you know what? That's okay. That's actually beautiful. Watching an artist find their confidence and their voice at an age when the industry typically tells women to step aside, that's revolutionary. So yeah, Blackpink keeps delaying their album. YG keeps playing their strategic games. BTS and Blackpink will probably trend together again because of overlapping comebacks. But Jennie already won. She figured out who she is, what she wants to create, and how to do it on her own terms. What do you think about Jennie's solo career versus her work with Blackpink? Do you think the other members feel the same way? And are you still excited for the Blackpink comeback after all these delays? Or has your focus shifted to their solo work? Let me know in the comments. If this resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more honest K-pop commentary.